Hello, welcome to Scrap Time. My name's Christine, and this video is part of the Inky Background Techniques series. Now, in this particular video, we're going to use distress spray stains as well as the oxide sprays to create some dipped backgrounds. Now, I find with the oxides, once you get the oxides in there, less is more. So I'm only going to be really dipping it about once. In this one, where I dipped it more, you can see how some of the color just overtakes the whole thing and you lose some of it. So just to review the colors, this one has picked raspberry oxide, wilted violet oxide, salty ocean, and ripe persimmon. And then this one had twisted citron, squeezed lemonade, mermaid lagoon oxide, cracked pistachio oxide, peacock feathers, and spiced marmalade oxide. And the spiced marmalade I added later, and it might be hard to see, but it just sits on top and you can see a little bit of orange on top. So I will show you. So when you use the oxide sprays, you need to shake them first. There's a ball inside, and you want to shake them with the caps on. You can see here how I've had ink even within the caps sort of fly all over, and you don't want that all over the place. So keep your caps on, shake them. So what color? Of course, we'll always start with pink. So I'm going to spray some pink on my sheet. And I will spray some of I'm using spiced marmalade. In the other demos, I used abandoned coral, but I don't have it in the oxide, so I switched over to spiced marmalade. I'm going to put some yellow. This is just regular mustard seed down there. And then I'm going to put the blue, and just by putting the yellow between there, it blocks it from the orange. And I'm using Rusty Hinge. That was Mermaid Lagoon Blue, and this is Rusty Hinge. Put a bit up there. Now you can also tell you don't have to put the same amount of sprays for every color. I like pink and orange, so I'm going to have a lot of pink and orange, and then a little bit. If blue's really overpowering, then just put a little blue. If you have a color that's really dark and you don't want it to take over, you just put a little. So you can put your sprays depending what colors you want to show. And then I'm going to dip these in. And I'm not going to move them much, like swipe through it or anything, because I don't want all those colors to blend into one. So I just like do a print. And you can see how pretty that is. And I can even just take a little water to blend the colors out a bit. Not much. And then I'm going to dry this. I'm just knocking off some of that excess color. Down here I have a lot of color. I'm just going to soak it up with my paper towel. I just don't want all that color. Okay. So I really like the blotches of color. You can see how the blue mixed with the yellow, we now have some green going on there. And I know already that if I'm to dip this again, it's going to just sort of cover up everything I just did because the oxides are in there and the oxides will cover. And so I find when I use oxides, I don't want to do piles and piles of layers. So what I'll do, I'm going to set that aside for a second, but I can take another card and dip it in because I don't want to waste the colors. So I'd rather just make another background. I have a bit of ink here. I'm just going to pick it up. And so I have the start to another project there. So I'm going to actually clean this up. You could do more if you'd like, but for now I'm going to just clean it up. And I just want to show you though that these inks are still reactive with water, so I can go in and do a few drips, and you're still going to get those little watercolors. Just pick it up. It basically picks up the ink to form a little bit of texture. So both sprays, the regular Distress and the Oxide, are still reactive to water, and you can still get that texture. But I just like to do like one dip. I'll just show you the difference between when I did it with well, this is with the inks. When I dip the inks versus dipping the sprays, you can see the spray has a lot more color than the inks because I'm not diluting it so much with water. But with the inks, I could get a lot more layering because I wasn't so worried about the oxides covering it. So depending if you're using oxide sprays, regular sprays, what have you, you just want to be careful. You'll learn as you go whether you should stop or you did it one too many times. And again, if you do it one too many times and you're like, I no longer like it, don't throw it away, put it aside, because we'll be reworking those pieces in a video a bit later in the series. So don't throw anything away, even if you don't like it, because we can still salvage it and use it for something. So that is the dip backgrounds using Distress spray stains and Oxide sprays. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to Scrap Time videos on YouTube. And for more Inky backgrounds, be sure to check out the Inky background playlist.